your screen and on your podcast, wherever you're taking it in at whatever time. We're live at 2 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We got the national championship game going on tonight. Scar, we got the NFL playoffs, including the Lions losing on Saturday night at Ford Field. We were just talking about that. Good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, David, that's the first time I've heard you say the word playoffs without following up with the old Jim Mora line. But they got a commercial now with them. Anyway, it's MLK Day. It's cold up here in Michigan, but we're coming hot, man. You're gonna jump right in talking about the Lions, huh?
Well, you told me that you were at the casino, which was no surprise to me or anybody else that knows you, but you said there were a lot of people that were shooting off their mouths about the Lions.
Well, I just find it interesting that, we finally got a good coach. We've got the right general manager. We've got a lot of people doing good things, and it doesn't go your way every time, man. We had some guys that didn't step up to make plays like they've been playing. Goff did not have his great game. We dropped have a great game. We dropped some passes. We had an offensive lineman out. Our offensive line wasn't great. And then, it catches up with you, Denny. Defensively, it catches up with you. You can, and I know it as a coach, you can pull things together. You plug this, you plug that, and sometimes you can win some games. And really, that's what Michigan's football is trying to do now too. They're trying to put 105 of the best football players we can possibly get so that you can withstand injuries, withstand problems, withstand guys getting in trouble, this, that, or whatever. And I think it caught up with the Lions. And listen, Washington, the quarterback the kid made no mistakes. He ain't no damn rookie, Denny. He started 18 games now. He started 50 games in college, and he was outstanding. So I'm not losing faith. We've got the right people. It just, we got to maybe get some better players and get some more depth. But
I would like to start, for the people at the casino and for anyone else, I blame sports fans and media and just society today and how we discuss teams. Everyone comes on and says, let's overreact about the game. And then you either have to overreact about how much you love the team and you can't say anything about them negatively, or you got to completely trash them. Look, I thought Jared Goff was terrible, and he was the biggest reason that the Lions lost the game. It doesn't mean I want to tar and feather him and throw him out in the Detroit River and, mock him and, talk about that he's a horse bleep quarterback or anything else, but he had a terrible game. Dan Campbell was experimenting with his running back rotation right off the bat. That was a terrible tone. Dan Campbell, I'm still trying to figure out why I didn't call a timeout when there was 12 men on the field. He kicked it. I mean, if I'm going to sit around praising Dan Campbell about how great, he's setting the tone and all these things that he does, and he loves the city, when he completely, freezes up in a game, I'm going to point it out. That doesn't mean I think that he should be fired or he's the worst coach in the NFL or anything else. And while we're at it, I like Ben Johnson. But, Ben Johnson, here's the thing, with all those people that you saw down at the casino, Scar, I bet you know them all because 99% of the people that go to the casino, they come back there because you know what? Gamblers like to gamble. And you know what Ben Johnson is? He's a gambler. And so all the people that love all the trick plays and all season long, and boy, it is really entertaining. And the Lions are just so much fun to watch. But when you get into the postseason and the further you go, the better the opponents are, that kind of stuff isn't going to work. And the Lions, if they get in that spot again, guess what? Ben Johnson or anybody else, Dan Campbell, wants to throw the dice and gamble, they're going to lose. And it's going to cost them a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It cost them last year with how they coached the game in the NFC Championship game. And it was the same mindset on Saturday night with Ben Johnson over there, taking a guy who is running around with the football over his head while he's running into the end zone, and you're depending on his right arm, not his legs, not his catching ability. He's great at that. But you're going to tell me you're going to take a wide receiver in the fourth quarter in the biggest spot and say, let's throw the ball down the field. What I'm going to tell you, Scar, you're a coach. You put some of those plays in for the running backs and wide receivers. How many you got to tell them, like, hey, if it's not there, if it's not wide open, you got to throw it away. But those guys, it's their one chance in the world to make a play. And invariably, you know what they do? They throw it to the other team because, I don't even blame them because I understand that. That's on Ben Johnson, the great Ben Johnson. He deserves criticism. But Lion fans are having a hard time with it this morning. And look, I think the defense, even though injuries are not a concern or not an excuse, with this team, it was an excuse, and it is right, and it was part of what cost them the game. They couldn't stop the Commanders, and they played terrible on that side of the ball, and we got hoodwinked against Minnesota when we saw them play so well, and we should have known when Robertson went down because he was so good for Glenn and everyone in that Vikings game that this defense, that was going to be it right there, that this was going to have the Lions in a tough spot. They were back into a corner, and they were going to lose that game.
All right, Danny, you covered a lot, and I know we don't want to beat this too much out.
I want you to
we gave up 44 points, Danny. Our defensive coordinator gave up 44. He's responsible for 12 men. You seem to leave him out. But I'm not picking – I don't want to be pointing at – listen, we are where we are as a program. I think we're in good shape, and I'm not panicking. Our basketball team went to Minnesota. They haven't won a Big Ten game. And you know what? It happens. These guys are big. You're going to lose sometimes to some teams where things don't go your way. And I'm not panicking. I just wanted to say that I'm not panicking. I have faith in our leadership, and we'll continue to bring in good players. And go ahead.
Faith in leadership for the Lions? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I have faith in our general manager, our head coach, our coordinators, the direction of the program. I mean, we just got to keep getting better, man.
Yeah, well, the only part that I'd correct you on is that Jared Goff fumbling on the 3rd and 1 right out of the gate, throwing a pick six. That's not the defense's fault. Don't put those points on the defense.
44 points, Danny. You got to slow them down, man. 44.
When you're throwing a pick six, the defense can't run out of the field.
Yeah, I get it.
Aaron Glenn can't run out of the field.
12 men is on the defensive coordinator.
And the head coach.
No, he's not running the defense, Danny. That's not how it works.
Like this, and they all know
how it works.
Man.
Okay, all right, well.
No, it is. Scar, I'm going to tell you this. When the coach afterwards says, I knew they had 12 men out on the field. I didn't want to call a timeout because those are so precious. That's what he said. He might as well have gone out there and said,
he actually said that?
That's what he said.
Okay, well,
he said that he thought about it,
okay.
and he knew that it had happened, but they're too precious. They're gold.
Well, that's crazy.
Instead of a 4th and 2, he wanted to go to a 4th and 1 and, give him that touchdown. That's on Dan Campbell.
Okay, well, all right. I still got faith in him, man.
Yeah, I got to
beat this up for an hour. Let's move on. We got a lot of other good stuff, man.
Okay, what else is on your mind? Let's talk about the Michigan football and where they sit and the mindset of the program as they have to watch 2 of their bitter rivals play in a championship game.
It's interesting, Denny, the mindset, because I've been down there on State Street for 5 years. My freshman year, we were the number 1 ranked team in the country coming into the season. And we lost our opening game, and the mindset is confidence. You just won the Rose Bowl. Okay, that's one state of mind. And going into my last year, we were 6-5, Bo's worst team, and we were pissed off. Coaches were pissed off. Everybody was pissed off. The effort was great in the offseason, and it was a nasty mindset. Okay. So where is this football team? Where's the mindset of this football team? What is, where are we? Okay, we lost 5 football games, but we did beat Ohio State, and we did finish up with some confidence. So I'm just thinking if I'm leading this team, or the mindset should be a sense of we're really pissed off, but there's a confidence alongside the fact that we're pissed off as they move forward. And I know there's an unbelievable amount of competition. The players we're bringing in, the players that are coming back, there are 0 people on that football team that have a position locked up. I think, honestly, 0 people can just show up. because there you got somebody at every position that's swinging for your. If you're the starter, they're coming for you. If you're second string, there's a third string guy coming for your job, and which is a great thing. And we want to have a ton of depth. You look at Notre Dame now and Ohio State; they're going to play this 16th, 17th game. Man, you better have bodies. And if that's where we want to be, you better have a lot of bodies, a lot of depth to go through a season. I mean, we started in late July.
Right.
And here we go, mid-January, man. So anyway, the mindset, in my opinion, the way I'm thinking, the attitude down at Schembechler is we're pissed off, but we're confident.
Yeah, I like that mindset. You know, the 3 games that they won at the end of the year changed a lot of the vibes, I think, from a fan's perspective. But I know that they'll take in that game tonight. And I think Sharon Moore, when he looks at that, he'll probably have some fire. And just like you're talking about the players, it's going to tick them off to see Ohio State out there. And many of the players, they were in the national championship game last year. And it's such a difference from, you know, the mountaintop to where they were at this season with the, 5 losses. And yeah, that should, get them fired up and stoke the fires for this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, coaches are – Denny, we mess around and go and lose 4 games again. I mean, there's people worried about their job now, okay?
Yeah.
You got, we got all the money in the world down there. We got Michigan football, tradition, 110,000. Come on, man. You got money and we're in on all these recruits now. And from what I'm hearing, the money is a big factor. All these high school kids, everybody's got Michigan on their list now. So anyway, that's how I visualize the mindset. That this honeymoon ain't going to last forever. So coaches have pressure, players have pressure. Everybody's pissed off. Everybody's motivated.
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about Wink Martindale, but I saw that on the list that you wanted to talk about Wink, and then the defensive coordinator in the championship game tonight, Jim Knowles for Ohio State.
Yeah, Denny, I tell you, I think Wink is the most important coach on that staff. Okay, he's the most important coach on that defense. Because Sharon's thing is offense, and Denny, a guy can teach blocking and tackling. How to run the football, how to carry a football, all this kind of stuff. But the real thing is to find a guy that is the schemer, that is the conflict guy, that's the problem guy, the defensive coach that can adjust to all your bullshit, but give you more bullshit. That's Wink. I'm going to line up. I'm going to adjust to all the stuff you're trying to do to fool me, but I'm going to double it up and give you more headaches. We're going to play great, solid, sound technique. He's got to, get your linebacker coach, your secondary coach, your D-line. Everybody's coordinated. Everybody knows what the hell they're doing. That's those are the guys that are hard to find. So I think he's the most important coach down there. Okay. So
can I just jump in? What if they do lose him? I think everybody hopes that Wink stays at least one more year, but if they do lose him, so you thought this is a major loss.
Oh, huge, Denny, because, here's the deal. Listen, listen, he's a defensive coordinator at 3 different NFL teams, man. And, people can say what they want. But anyway, I'm thinking he's going to come back. I think he's interviewed for some people. Hopefully he won't get the job, but there actually was some names that some people. There's a couple names that I like. One of my old teammates, Doug Mallory, he's been coaching since we got out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Doug has been a coordinator at Oklahoma State with Les Miles. He's been a coordinator at LSU with Les Miles. He's been coaching for 35 years now, but he was at Michigan the last couple of years with the championship team. He was an analyst. Doug knows the system. Doug would be great. And there was, again, someone else in the media. One time, somebody actually had a clue. I read it from some other guy. But Doug is working with the Ravens right now. He's a secondary coach with the Ravens. Doug would be a guy that could put the puzzle together and do those things. I still think about Klink and Elston out there. They're out there working with Jim. Would Sharon bring one of them guys? They know the system. You want a guy that knows our system, the foundation of our system. but it's an intelligence thing, Danny. The coordinator, I want, if I'm the head coach somewhere, I'm a defensive guy. Okay, I want a smart, intelligent offensive coordinator. That's what I want for my offensive coordinator. I don't want a guy that just teach blocking and on all that. You got to be able to. I want you to, give that defensive coach problems. That's what I want out of my coordinator. I'll tell you another name, and I know it's probably not going to happen. But this guy he's working now with McDonald at Seattle. Is Chris Partridge? It ain't going to happen. I know it ain't going to happen because of how he told the NCAA to F off. Okay, but he loves me. It's not going to happen. I thought it was crummy the fact that happened the way he left, because he would be a legitimate candidate, because he's worked with McDonald, he worked with Minner, and he's a linebacker coach at Seattle. But
yeah, he got fired. He got fired. That's not going to happen. And he's suing Michigan. So
anyway, Doug Mallory is a guy that I'm looking through some things. He would be a legitimate, good option.
Scar, what if Doug Mallory got the job and he called you up and said, Scar, I know you love retirement. You're doing a great job in the Mason Blue Review. The natatorium down at Michigan is a great pool. There's nothing like that. We hear that, you love swimming, and we want you as an analyst. We want you to come in, and we want you to help Michigan football. You're in need. We're going after Jim Scarcelli. We're going to bring him back as a Michigan analyst. What are you going to say?
I go way back with Doug Mallory, man. His brother Mike is the oldest. There's 3 Mallory boys, and me and Mike are the same age. But I remember when Doug came up on his recruiting trip, and we were all crazy. Got into something stupid. Anyway, that's a whole nother story that I can't tell.
Yeah, don't tell that one.
But Danny, I actually considered being an analyst. I had talked to Jim, before I was going to retire, and but the hours they work are crazy. I don't want to go 6 to 10, man. That's what these guys are doing during the season. That
doesn't sound bad. 4 hours a day.
6 in the morning, 10 at night, Danny. That's the hours they're putting in.
Oh.
Okay, so people want to ask why these coaches are making so much money. The hours are incredible. They sleep at the damn. They sleep in their office, man. But so anyway, the answer to your question, no, I'll just come over here and support Michigan with you once a week, and I'm all done, man. I hung the whistle up.
I thought it was 6 in the morning till 10 in the morning. I thought, yeah, well, that's early. You gotta get up early. They're there all day, man. They go about 6 to 10, and the analysts, it's the worst for them. So that was the information I found out looking into it. I don't want to do that. No, I'm not sure I would either. I mean, maybe I would, but I don't think my wife would let me do that. If I told her, hey, I'll see you. I'm getting up. I mean, what do? You come home, you go to bed. That's the only thing you get.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Those guys, when I was coaching, Denny, the coaches had one night a week they were with their family. It was Thursday night. That was the one night. There's some other things going on, Denny. A name I don't really hear much of is Sharon doesn't talk about his strength coach so much.
Tress?
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that he's doing a good job, because this is like Justin Tress time. This was Ben Herbert time. This was Mike Gittleson time when I played, and the strength coach and his staff, man, you're just, that's what you're seeing. That's what you're working with. And hopefully those guys are doing a great job, Justin Tress, and, because this is a big part of your program, man. You got to out-strength coach people too.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think the next time get a chance to ask Sharon Moore what's happening with the strength and conditioning program, that's going to be a good question.
Yeah, he doesn't, Denny, I look at the little things. I was looking at Michigan's on the website today. He doesn't have the strength coach on the website. He doesn't have any of the analysts on there. A lot of those are head coaches' decisions. When I was coaching, I wanted to promote anybody that was in our program. And you go to some other different college websites, they'll have the analysts, they'll have the strength coaches on the program, so you can see them. And for whatever reason, people make those decisions. Jim didn't have them on there either. He didn't have his analysts in the program. But those are people wonder why. Why does one guy do it and the other one doesn't?
Yeah. Well, what would be the reason? You want to just keep the
I don't, Danny, I don't know. I don't understand why. Because then I guess you got so many analysts. Maybe you don't want no one to see how many strength coaches you have. I don't understand it. I would try to have give some love to everybody. It's about giving love, man. But whatever. Strength coach is vitally important right now, though. It's the easiest way to get better in any sport.
Last time we were on, we went through the roster a little bit. We went through number 0 up to 15, which was Ernest Hausman. Today, we're going to walk through a few others, 16 to 30. And that, when you get to 16, there's 2 of them. You got Josiah Edmond, a corner, and then Davis Warren at 16. You ready to start there?
Yeah, we'll start with Hausman, man. He's been everything we thought. He started at Nebraska, and then he came to us. He had a real good year this year, played great against Ohio State, real good against Alabama, physical kid, decent versus pass. Glad he's back. Question is, who's going to be the linebacker next to him, because they're moving Barham over. So, Rolder will have an inside track, and then we'll see. We got Bowles' kid coming in, but Hausman's glad to see him back. Stud. What year is Edmond, Denny?
I think he's going to be a sophomore.
Well, he's in the mix. He's competing. That's about all I got to say about him. Young guy in the mix, competing.
Yeah.
Davis Warren, Denny, don't count this kid out. He improved tremendously. He didn't make any mistakes against Alabama. He got hurt in that game, but I wish he would have played him more last year, because he would have had a much better year this year. But he's improved. Our quarterback room is outstanding. We've got 2 guys that have played a lot of football, and then we got the best high school kid in the country. So I'm glad Davis Warren's coming back. It gives us depth. It gives us confidence if somebody goes down.
Yeah, the thing I worry about, I don't know if I worry about it, and I can't say, I was going to say it gives me a Tuttle vibes, which, it's not going to be fair, but, he got hurt New Year's Eve in the bowl game, right? And then usually an ACL, you say 9 months, and then you could be ready. And 9 months is going to put it right, right at Fresno State, right at the opener. So, can you practice a little bit before that? Are you thinking then maybe he would be ready potentially to compete and be on the field, towards the end of September? The Big Ten season, Nebraska's September 20th. So maybe those are kind of the target things. That's just what I just wonder about when he would be ready and how much can you count on a guy that's coming back from an ACL with the timeline of 9 months? Sometimes 8, 9. I don't know. Sometimes it's 10. It varies. So that just puts a mystery part on it. With the depth and how much you can practice, how much you get in there. All of that, because he's not going to be able to participate in spring. So he'll be there on the sideline. He's not going to be able to do anything in the summer or fall camp. I guess he could be out there taking some snaps, but, I guess they all have orange jerseys on or whatever else. So that worries me a little bit, but I don't know how much I should be worried about that. That's just my worry.
All right, let's move on here.
All right, so we got a pair of 17s, Colston Loveland.
Okay, Eno Etta is battling. He's got serious competition to get on the field. The coaches like him, from what I hear, and he's a big. I mean, you walk next to him. He wins the competition on the beach and in the weight room. But can he produce? He's got to improve, and he'll be competing. Klein was outstanding. He's a legitimate tight end, in my opinion. Blocking, catching. Stud. He'll play in the NFL, and then Loveland's gone. You got any thoughts on the 217s?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Eno Etta, so I'm pulling for him. And Klein, when they talked about him and what he was able to do, strength and conditioning, one of the fastest guys on the team, regardless of position. And then you watching him and see what kind of blocker he is. I think the sky is the limit for him. If you're looking for somebody to say, hey, who's going to step up and could be a star for Michigan that people aren't talking about, I think Marlon Klein's a good name.
I mentioned Klein last spring, though, Danny. You remember?
Yes, you did.
I said it back then before everybody knew about him. McBurrows, is he coming back?
As far as I know right now,
he's a stud. He's a tough kid. He'll come up and tackle. He's good. He's a guy that'll compete to start. Doman, he's gone, right?
I think he went to Florida. Yep, I believe.
Okay, and Shug is back, number 20.
Shug is back.
Yeah, so those are two good secondary guys. Are glad to have them back. They're gonna compete. We brought a ton of players in there. Again, it's nobody can have a bad practice, Denny. I mean, I know what it is to be that guy battling, to be a starter, to be a backup, and you cannot have a bad practice because that depth chart will change overnight. You'll have a different color jersey on the next day.
So it doesn't matter if I want to pencil Shug Hill in as a starter.
No, you don't pencil nobody in for nothing on that whole team.
There you go.
Hey, Denny, especially going losing 5 football games, ain't nobody comfortable down there. Ain't no coaches comfortable. Because listen, Sharon Moore is going to look at it. He's going to look at his coaches and his players. Man, you better show up every day, man. Ain't nobody comfortable.
I like it. I feel like you should have come in with a whistle around your neck today.
Because I was that guy.
I'm liking it. I love it.
I had to get my inner Schembechler out at times as a coach. Well, Dunlap's going down the street to Eastern, and I don't. Ricky Johnson hardly played. Go to the next one.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky's on the list. Although I could be wrong in that. Mullings is going to the pros.
And then 23, Jordan Marshall. I said it, Denny. I wish we would have saw him play more this year because that kid, he could have been our second best back. I'll leave it at that. The future is great. He is a tough, athletic kid. He is a quorum type kid. He is legit. So we hit the jackpot with that kid.
It's hard when you got Mullings.
He's elusive.
It was hard though for him to get carries. I mean, the two guys in front of him were pretty accomplished running backs.
Well, okay. My thoughts.
No,
I get it. We'll move on, but the future's good there with him.
Okay. That gets us to Cole Cabana, who transferred. Is he going to
Sullivan? Cole Sullivan is going to be. He might be the other linebacker in their battling. We've heard good things about him. He's a big, tough, mean kid. This spring is important to him, so he's a guy that'll compete. And Cabana's going to Western Michigan. So good luck to him.
Yeah, I think Sullivan, who loves the Steelers and the Penguins and all of that, he loves T.J. Watt, and so that's kind of the way I look at it. I'm hoping he can be like a T.J. Watt type player. All right, this gets us. We've got a few more as we're going from 15 to.
It didn't quite work out for Pollard.
Nope.
So good luck to him. Mason Curtis is a young, tall kid, big, tall secondary kid.
Yeah.
Had a lot of clock. He will be right there. The coaches have confidence in him, and it's good to have a big, tall kid there. And then Cabana, it's going to be tough for him now, man. Denny, it's going to be tough for him with the way Jordan Marshall played. And then they played the other young guy. And then we got the kid from Alabama coming in. It's going to be tough for Cabana to break into that rotation.
Yeah, Cabana sounds like a lot like Cabana, but yeah, Cabana. You're talking about Ben Hall is in the mix there.
It's going to be tough because the coaches have already said, look, and they played him against Alabama. They played Ben Hall and Marshall, so he's going to have a tough road to go because you got guys that have already proven. Denny, when you put a guy in a game like that and they don't fumble the ball. Both of those guys, you have the coaches have confidence in you. So now you bring the kid from Alabama in. So now you have 3 guys. So this kid has to, he's got a tough road ahead of him.
Yep, but he's still in the mix there. That gets us up to Benny, who last week this had to bring a smile to your face. Carr, you're a Benny.
Well, he's been a good, solid backup, and he played. He played pretty damn good against Alabama, Danny. Sometimes when you're the guy, you get the call to be a starter. So he's going to have to give us, maybe he can give us, Kenny Grant and elevate his play a little bit. But he's a tough kid, smart player. He doesn't get knocked out of there. That's for damn sure. So, and he's athletic. And McLaurin hasn't played that much, 27. And then Ben Hall is back, and we know what he can do. Ben will be a guy that they can count on in short yardage situations. And Danny, when you're a running back and you secure the damn football and you pass protect, you have a chance. Okay, when you can do those two things, secure the football and pass protect and block the right freaking guy, and he's done those things.
Yeah, he's in the mix. I was thinking Minnesota too for Cabana, but Scar was.
No, I heard he was going to go initially, and then I heard Western. So maybe someone could check on that. I heard Western. What's that say there?
That's Cole Cabana right there, and he says, "Go Broncos."
Okay, that's what I thought. Kalamazoo. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to him. What I don't know how much you would root for him if he went to Minnesota, but that he's going to Western. Go Cole.
That's right. Good luck.
From Dexter. I'm right with you.
I hope you're right, Adam. I hope Benny has that kind of a year. And is has at least gets drafted, and then 28 is Q. He's gone.
Yep.
And Nichols, I'm not even sure what he plays.
Nichols. Now there's a Nichols that was a defensive.
That's 33. He's the edge player.
Right. So I'm not sure about this Nichols.
Just go to number 30 and we'll cut it off today, Denny.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, that's it. Well, who's the?
Oh no, we got Jimmy Rolder.
Wolder's been solid, man. So he's been the third linebacker in there. They got faith in him. He's in the right. He's got to stay healthy. Rolder is in the right spot, though. I know why they like him. He's where he's supposed to be. He's a good athlete. He's a tough kid. Got to stay healthy. He could be the starting guy. Him and Hausman. If I had to bet, those two are going to start against New Mexico next year.
I would also put Rolder in that category if you're looking for a sleeper that could be a star. Klein, you mentioned last year, you're talking about Jimmy Rolder could be a starter here. He's been out there. He's been on the field. He's played more snaps, I think people think, and then he's been in bigger games than people think. And then, he had to work through some stuff, as the coaches say. So it's a little banged up. But, yeah, I think that he's somebody that could jump up there and surprise people.
He's smart. I can see why they like him. He's again, there's no substitute for a guy that's where he's supposed to be. Be in the right gap, cover the right zone, cover the right guy, and that's you're going to always have a chance when they can count on you to do that. Just like a running back, you got to block the right guy, secure the football. Linebackers, same thing, be in the right gap.
You know what else there's no substitute for? It's the Maize and Blue Review. There's imposters, there's people that try, and then there's the Maize and Blue Review, and you can join and get instant access today by going to michigan.rivals.com, and I urge you to do so. You want to talk Michigan, you want to know Michigan, you get football, you get basketball, it's all day, it's all night. And again, michigan.rivals.com. We are going to talk about the championship game tonight, but the basketball team yesterday, it'd be interesting. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. They played, I think, a 35-minute overtime yesterday, Scar. Were you aware at the
I watched it, Denny. Let me say this. Chris Collins, F you, man. Chris Collins.
Oh.
Okay, let me tell you why.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, Denny, listen, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coaching my guys. You coach your guys. Okay? You start talking junk about my guys, I'm coming for you, man. Now Dusty May, this is an interesting deal. So we beat him, and this punk Collins is going to talk about Vlad being an actor. That's a slap in the face to one of your players, okay? Right? You saw the comment, right? He called him an actor. If he doesn't have a career in the NBA, he should go to Hollywood, whatever. If I'm coaching, I'm coming after Chris Collins. I'm coming after him. And, you're going to rip on my player. Well, you're whining little crybaby punk. So I did not like seeing that. I think May needs to stand up and take a shot at Collins, because I sure as hell would. Okay, but our hoop team, Denny, we went to Minnesota. It's on any given day, man. It can happen. You're not going to make shots. We missed a bunch of bunnies. They made shots they haven't made all year. But I got faith in our team. It's a Big Ten. And you can't take nothing for granted, man. You can't take nothing for granted. So that's I'm not. I look at our basketball team the way I look at the Lions, Denny. We've got the right leader. We've got guys making good decisions. and just have faith in them. We screwed around at Minnesota. Things didn't go our way. Danny, I got to share something. You know what I thought about? I'm an old retired phys ed teacher. I had a standing offer. You beat me in horse, I give you an A+.
Really?
Yeah. If you beat me in horse, I give you an A+. There's 2 kids that beat me in 20 years of teaching. Okay. I played this one kid almost 1,000 times. Wow. This literally, I had the kid in class for 4 years. They kept putting him in my class. Crazy kid. And he beat me one time. Shots off the backboard, off the rim, bouncing around. So he beat me one time in over 1,000 games, almost 1,000 games. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make about Minnesota. You're not going to always make shots. And I coached them both, football, basketball. But we got the right leader there, and our kids are they need to stay pissed off. You know, sometimes there's 2 overtime games. You know, hey, we're good, but we got to come out swinging all the time. And Northwestern might have said, look, you know, they're a good team, and they got to play smart. But that's my take on Michigan basketball. Stay pissed off. You just barely beat Northwestern, and you're not that good. You're good when you play as a team and you fight. That's where we are.
Dusty gave him the day off today, and then it'll be full prep for Purdue. So we'll see where they're at when they go and take on Matt Painter's team on Friday night.
What would you do, Denny, if a guy takes a shot at one of your players? What are you doing in the media then?
Well,
he calls your guy an actor. What are you doing? You taking it?
Well, I don't know. You know, I didn't see the comment. He
called him an actor. He said if you don't make it in the NBA, he should be an actor.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the comments. Dusty, I don't think was asked about it after the game, and I was at his news conference today, and nobody asked him about it. You know, I don't get involved. You know, with that part. I mean, there's other.
You got to protect your players, man.
In some spots, I don't think.
Bullshit. I'm going to protect I'm going to fight for I'm going to rip on my players and shred them and break them down. But ain't no one else allowed to do that but me. That's what I learned from Bo.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe if he was asked about it, he would have a comment ready.
Yeah. Bo would shred you and attack you and crush you, but he'll defend you publicly.
Yeah, I mean, look, what are you going to say? It's like I would say, how do you know what happens when somebody kicks you between the legs? You know,
I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible for an opposing coach, a leader of men, to take a shot at a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I would have said something like, well, let's bring Collins over here. We'll give him a swift kick in the nuts and see, you know, what kind of acting.
Yeah, it's just weak, man. Anyway, moving on.
I hear you on that.
Hey, how about Cade McNamara going to East Tennessee State? Cade McNamara, Michigan, Iowa. Now he's going to East Tennessee State. And good luck, Cade, man. Good luck. I just saw that. So he's got a 6th year, and I just thought that was of note.
That is of note. You know, good luck to Cade.
Yeah.
Scar, let me ask you a question about Cade. You know, so he won the Big Ten championship. He was the quarterback and he was a captain the following year. If he came back, are people welcoming him? Former Michigan players welcoming him? Do you think he would come back? I mean,
hell yeah, they would. His teammates, listen, former players, we have our get-togethers, our functions, and you're a former player. There's no ego. There's no, pecking order. There's none of that, man. You know, whether you were a walk-on and never played, or you were All-American, and if no one cares. So yeah, he would be accepted if he wants to come back. And it just gets back to Danny. It gets back to what I say all the time. It's like, I've seen it many times where you have a player and he sucks, and then a different coach comes in, and all of a sudden he's good, or he works for one coach and he did good, and now there's another guy to come in. And now somehow he sucks. So I think he's somewhere in between there. You just got to get the right guy. Cade doesn't run real well, and a lot of these guys want guys that can run. That's where the offenses are going, man. They want guys that can move. He's an accurate kid. He's a smart kid. I talked about giving credit to Jim, building a good team around Cade McNamara, but getting him mentally ready to play. So that's a skill that Jim had, I think. Listen, he didn't always have great quarterback play. We all know that, but
right.
The last 3 teams that won Big Ten championships did. So,
yeah, I don't think he's coming back the way that he departed, and then he was taking some shots on some podcasts at Michigan, the doctors, and said some things like, it's a interesting thing to say in a podcast, Scar. If you said, I could tell you a lot of things about Michigan and what's going on behind the scenes, everybody would be like, okay, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, but Denny, the bottom line is this: there's a lot of extracurricular type people that, in my experience at Michigan. But you know what? I want to see my buddies. Yeah, that ain't never going to change. He's got teammates that he was there for 3 years with. Those are his friends. Those are his teammates. So, the hell with all them other people. I don't really care about. Listen, I like seeing the coaches when I played with those guys. I have good feelings about all of them. But he doesn't have to deal with some of those people. Just go see your buddies.
All right, Ohio State's a big favorite in the championship game tonight. It went 8.5-point favorite over Notre Dame. Almost as big a favorite as the Lions were over the Commanders. So maybe by game time, it was the exact same line as the Lions were over the Commanders. Do you think the Fighting Irish can pull a Washington Commanders upset?
Yeah, I do. I think they can. They could win the game. I think not. I bet the game right when it came out, Danny, at 9.5. Okay, and here's my thinking: Jim Knowles versus Denbrock over at Notre Dame. So that's a good matchup. Real good defensive coordinator, Denbrock.
Highest paid offensive coordinator.
Well, he's got players. He's got a quarterback. That's an interesting matchup. It's fair. And then you've got Al Golden, another real good defensive coordinator.
I know you like him.
Versus Chip Kelly. So that's an interesting match. And so both of those matchups, I don't really give an edge to either. I see a push from a coordinator standpoint. I don't see a real edge there. The quarterback play, they're almost clones of each other. Leonard and Howard. Leonard maybe slight edge in my book, but they're both athletic guys. They're going to have quarterback runs, a lot of predetermined runs. They'll keep drives alive. They'll avoid the rush and make a third down conversion with their legs. So I see a push at that position. Talent-wise, throughout the whole roster, the offensive line, defensive line, it's pretty damn similar. The one area I think Ohio State has a talent advantage is at receiver.
Yeah.
Notre Dame don't have no super freak number 4 type kid. So Ohio State has a little better edge at the receiver position. They might have a slight edge at the running back position with the 2 good running backs they have. But I think another reason I like Notre Dame, Denny, in this game is they played twice in the last 4 or 5 years, and same staff, same people, same system, and they were both knocked down, drag out, last minute, deciders at the end of the game. So the talent level is pretty damn similar. It's going to be huge. Which quarterback plays smart, secures the football. So that's my take. I'd almost rather have Notre Dame win. I don't want to help Ohio State's recruiting. Anything that is good for them is not good for us. So, but let me just say this, Denny, about this game, and I believe this. You look at Riley Leonard. Notre Dame went and got him from Duke.
Yeah.
You put him on Michigan's team. You look at Judkins over at Ohio State. He's a game changer. He's a good running back. You put him on Michigan's team. And you get Tez Johnson. We needed one freak receiver. You give us Tez Johnson, Riley Leonard, and one big-time playmaking running back like Oregon had, one of those kind of kids. 3 players. That's all we needed, Denny. 3 of them. You give this Michigan football team that just lost 5 games, you give us those 3 players, There's 3 games we ain't losing. We ain't losing to Washington. We ain't losing to Illinois. And we ain't losing to Indiana. And we're battling with those other 2. I firmly believe that. And Sharon Moore ain't going to let that happen again. We can blame whoever we want to blame. But I think those problems are trying to be addressed. I think our running back room is good. But do we have a real freak receiver is the question. But anyway, that's my take on this game. And one more thing about Jim Knowles, Denny. I read where he is a possible candidate to go to Oklahoma. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
That would be great news because that's what we want. We want Ryan Day to stay and we want Chip Kelly to stay. Okay. We want Jim Knowles gone. In my opinion, that's what we want. Jim Knowles is good. We only put 13 on him and he's good. He's a damn good defensive coordinator, man. I want him gone. I want Chip and Ryan Day to stay in Columbus. Except
that Michigan's playing Oklahoma in the
That's fine. We don't got to play them to win a Big Ten championship every year as our rival. I get it. It's, but it'll take him time to get everything going. But that's my take on Jim Knowles. I want him gone, and it's going to be a good game tonight.
Let me recap it all, and then you can think if you want to say something that you missed and everything. But talking about this Michigan team, no jobs are secure. These guys have an attitude and a fire burning after this season, based on your experience, knowing how this program operates, a burning desire to get out there on the football field in the fall and do a better job and not have those 5 losses. And then, you still feel good about the Lions' window in the future with who they have in their spots. You like Notre Dame.
I like them with the points. I mean, I wouldn't bet it straight up, but I think those points are a gift. That game should be a 3-point line, I think 3.5 maybe. But everybody, Denny, those lines are based on everybody's looking at what Ohio State did against Oregon.
Yeah.
That's how those lines are based. And I'm not buying it.
Yeah, and even if Ohio State wins, Adam is pointing out, they have a loss to the reigning champs, Michigan. So.
That's right, they got to deal with that, and it's interesting, man. You can lose 2 football games and win a national championship. It's a different world, man.
It sure is. Well, Scar, great job. And anything else that you wanted to say?
No, there was talk about. I think I might have finally once agreed with Paul Feinbaum on something. He talked about the Army-Navy game, how that window, that week, that they want to have that all to Army-Navy.
Yeah,
it really does push back the whole calendar and making it where if they could move this championship game up before the semester ends, you know what I mean? So then you could get, instead of having the Penn State quarterback transfer and not play in the games. You follow me? You try to get everything done so that the kid can finish up his career at that school and then second semester be at another school, which I think is fair to the kid and the team. And instead of having guys leave, like the Penn State quarterback did.
What can we do?
What you do is, I don't know, you just have Army-Navy play prime time at night, the championship, whatever, man. You got to do something with Army-Navy.
Put them on a Friday. No,
whatever. I mean, they got to do something to coordinate the schedule with the calendar, with the transfer and the second semester and all that stuff is in play.
Scar and Paul Feinbaum, one of the same.
Yeah, I want to hear the Winks coming back, man.
Yep, we'll have a party if Wink's coming back.
I told you I used to hang out with Wink at the camp, working the camp 20-some years ago when he was a young coach at Cincinnati.
Couple OGs talking ball.
Yeah, young guys didn't know nothing.
We'll have to, if he comes back, we'll have to have you go down and chop it up with him.
Yep. All right, man. It's all good, Danny. Go Blue.
There he is, Jim Scarcelli, Maize and Blue Review.